Hi, my name is Mahle from Northwestern University. I was really happy to moderate a session that was called The Next Best Thing in Cardiovascular Sciences. This was really a lightning round session where representatives of each one of the American Heart Association councils presented on what the next best thing is in their topic area. Here's a sample of some of the exciting talks that we heard.
We face a lot of challenges when trying to do research studies in children. Any of the diseases are uncommon, and it's necessary to spread out across the country or across the globe in order to carry out any study. We're in a much different situation than most of the adults. When we do a big clinical trial, we really have to hit a home run, because the opportunity only comes around once in a while to get those kind of resources together to allow us to pull off a big study. One case in point was the recently presented Marfan trial of losartan versus atenolol that was just presented here at the American Heart Association. An absolutely fantastic study. It took 7 years from beginning to end to complete and cost about $16 million. So for each patient that was in this study, it cost almost $25,000 to enroll them and follow them. But that's equivalent to what happens to a lot of adult research studies. Unfortunately for us, the opportunity to carry out a $16 million study is nearly unheard of. And to my knowledge, that's the most expensive cardiovascular study that's ever been done in kids. Therefore, we've got to start to think of other ways to get the answers that we need. So within our own community, we're really focused on some other ways of basically doing great science on the cheap. We're trying to figure out how we can use data that we collect in caring for children every single day to answer the questions that we can't otherwise be answered without a big clinical randomized trial. To that end, a lot of the collaborators in pediatric cardiology and cardiac surgery have started to put their heads together about the data that we collect in a number of registries and clinical efforts to use it as a foundation in which we can nest an important question inside. People call these things different names. Sometimes they're called randomized cluster trials. That might be where one hospital or one state carries out one procedure and another hospital or another state carries out a different procedure. Now, it's not your typical randomized trial, but oftentimes it can give you answers that are almost as solid at much less cost. For example, there's a project we're doing now within the NHLBI-sponsored Pediatric Heart Network where there are 10 centers, and 5 of them are carrying out a new innovative approach, and 5 are doing their routine care. Essentially, in this case, we've used the centers rather than the individuals to carry out the different treatments or the randomization in order to answer the big question. We're hoping that we can get just as good an answer using this strategy at much less cost. I'm hopeful that what we learned from caring for children with heart disease really can be beneficial to adults in the end. There are a number of rare disorders that occur in adults that also struggle with the same issues. If we can find out a way of carrying out studies in children that are much less expensive, but nearly the same quality, I think it can have profound impact for a lot of genetic conditions that happen in kids and adults as well. While everyone loves saving money, we want to do it, but still maintain quality. I don't think that's too far around the corner. And while children usually follow adults in the world of science, maybe this is a chance for the adults to follow the children. Thank you.